This is the case of a jail, a home, a gift, and a car park. Let me explain. Most of us are aware of the demolition of the Royal Jail. The St. Lucia National Trust is opposed to the demolition. The government, on the other hand, from as far back as 2018, wanted to clear the site to make way for a modern structure to house halls of justice and police headquarters. The Police Welfare Association has joined the discussion, agreeing with the demolition. According to the PRO of the association, Stanislaus Albert, that structure housed vagrants, criminals, and was being used to store garbage, and noted that it posed a health and safety threat to his members. Albert added that his colleagues are scattered all over the place because there is no central building to house all the departments of the police. Even former inmates do not understand the Trust's romance with the structure. The government has had to outfit private buildings to accommodate courtrooms and offices for judges and magistrates, and this is at considerable cost to taxpayers. So the plan to build the halls of justice and the new police headquarters was seen as the best solution to deal with these issues. The National Trust is of the view that the structure could have been used as a tourist attraction. According to a member of the Trust, prisons in some parts of the world have been converted into tourist attractions. Mention was made of Robben Island, where Mandela was imprisoned for decades. There was also mention of slave-holding prisons on the African coast, etc. I do not understand why the Trust is griping at this time. You see, St. Lucia, in 2003, all prisoners were moved from the Royal Jail to the Bodily Correctional Facility. 15 years later, in 2018, when the Alan Chasney government decided to demolish the building to make way for a new structure, the Trust decided that it wanted the building as a tourist attraction. For 15 years, this structure stood there vacant, decaying, and the Trust made absolutely no attempt to try to preserve or develop it. No one was educated about the supposed value of the structure. We heard what Officer Albert said. It posed a health and safety threat. My question is, why the agitation from the Trust? Remember when I started, I indicated that this was about the case of a jail, a home, a gift, and a car park. So let's move on to the gift. Sometime in the late 90s, the government of St. Lucia gifted to the Trust a colonial-type building located on Manuel Street to be used as offices as well as a museum. For those of you who are old enough to remember, this building formerly housed the Ministry of Agriculture. It was felt that the building was well placed in the middle of the city of Castries and could serve as an ideal location for a museum. For the record, I am all for conservation, and I believe in the preservation of our heritage. That is why I'm still trying to understand why this gift was demolished. Maybe there was a legitimate reason, maybe the same reason that the jail is being demolished. That gift had an architectural style, similar to that of a building located on the corner of Manuel and Mico Street. That gift was part of a set of structures located along the then Prince Albert Basin. My question is, why was this building totally and completely demolished? Not one wall was left standing, not one. The site was flattened into a car park. So St. Lucia, tell me if this makes sense. You are gifted with a building of historic value where you could have placed a museum in the middle of Castries, and you demolished it to the point where nothing of it is left, not even the rubble. So why the hysteria about tearing down a building which does not hold good memories for anyone, and which the members of the Trust never bothered about for 15 years? I pose this question to you, St. Lucia, which makes better sense. a colonial building completely demolished to make room for a car park, or health and safety hazard torn down to build a home for the police and the judiciary, to ensure that the wheels of justice move at a faster rate. I rest my case. For commentary, this is Jacintha Annius-Lee.